Choreb Beruach, Sword of the Spirit. Interpreted and narrated by Wendy. Yikra, Leviticus, chapter 4. And Yehu spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yisrael, saying, If a soul sins through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yehovah, which ought not to be done, yet has done against any of them, or if the anointed priest sins according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he has sinned, a bull, a descendant of the bovine, without blemish unto Yehovah for the sin. Moreover, he will bring the bull to the door of the appointed tent before Yehovah. Then he will lay his hand upon the head of the bull, and kill the bull before Yehovah. Furthermore, the anointed priest will take from the blood of the bull, and bring it to the appointed tent. And the priest will dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle the blood 7 times before Yehovah, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest will put the blood on the horns of the altar of sweet incense before Yehovah, which is in the appointed tent, and pour all the blood of the bull at the bottom of the altar of the ascension offering, which is at the door of the appointed tent. Moreover, he will lift all of the fat of the bull from it for the sin offering, and the fat that conceals the innards, and all the fat that is upon the innards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys. He will remove it like it is lifted from the ox of the sacrifice of restorations, and the priest will burn them upon the altar of the ascension offering. But the skin of the bull, and all its flesh, with its head, and with its shanks, and its innards, and its dung, the whole bull he will carry forth out of the camp to a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn it upon the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out, it will burn. Also, if the whole congregation of Yisrael goes astray, yet the word is hidden from the eyes of the assembly, and they did any of the commandments of Yehovah that should not be done, and are ashamed, once the sin that they have sinned against is known, then the congregation will offer a bull for the sin, a descendant of the bovine. Therefore they will bring it before the appointed tent, and the elders of the congregation will lay their hands upon the head of the bull before Yehovah, and the bull will be killed before Yehovah. Then the anointed priest will bring the blood of the bull to the appointed tent, and the priest will dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before Yehovah, before the veil, and he will put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar that is before Yehovah, which is in the appointed tent. He will pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the ascension offering, which is at the door of the appointed tent, and he will take all the fat from it, and burn it upon the altar. Then he will do with the bull like he did with the bull for the sin offering. So too he will do with this, and the priest will make atonement for them. Then we will forgive them. So too he will carry forth the bull outside the camp, and burn it as he burned the first bull. It is a sin offering for the congregation. When a ruler has sinned, and done any of the commandments of Yehovah his Elohim, which should not be done by mistake, and is ashamed, or if his sin, in which he sinned, comes to his knowledge, he will bring his offering, a kid from the goats, a male without blemish. Then he will lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the ascension offering before Yehovah. It is a sin offering. And the priest will take the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar of the ascension offering, and pour out its blood at the bottom of the altar of the ascension offering. And he will burn all its fat upon the altar, like the fat of the sacrifice of restorations. And the priest will make an atonement for him concerning his sin. Then we will forgive him. Moreover, if a person among the people of the land sins through ignorance, while doing any of the commandments of Yahweh, which ought not to be done, and is ashamed, or if his sin, which he has sinned, comes to his knowledge, then he will bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned. And he will lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the ascension offering. And the priest will take its blood with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of the ascension offering, and pour out all its blood at the bottom of the altar. And he will remove all its fat, like the fat that is removed from the sacrifice of restorations. And the priest will burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the priest will make an atonement for him. Then we will forgive him. Also, if he brings a lamb for a sin offering, he will bring a female without blemish. And he will lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they killed the ascension offering. And the priest will take the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of the ascension offering, and pour out all of its blood at the bottom of the altar. And he will remove all its fat, like the fat of the lamb is removed from the sacrifice of restorations. And the priest will burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto Yahweh. And the priest will make an atonement for his sin that he has committed. Then we will forgive him.